Diving in some of these games, 3 big games, in my opinion, when you look at college football this weekend, championship Saturday. Baylor at Oak State minus 5.5. The Big 12 needs a little bit of help. They need to make sure that Georgia beats Bama. If that happens, I think Baylor can get in, or Oak State can get in this game. Not sure about Baylor. I think Notre Dame will probably end up sliding in fourth unless Baylor just absolutely destroyed Oak State, which I wouldn't see happening. But Dave Aranda looking for Big 12 title for him. Mike Gundy looking for one for him. I think that would be a nice little cherry on the Sunday for Oak State fans, as they've had to watch Texas and Oklahoma potentially be leaving here within a year or two. And so that would be a nice little thing for either one of those coaches, but especially Mike Gundy, who's been there so long with the Cowboys. Bama and Georgia minus 6.5. I'd probably lay those points. I think Georgia's running game too strong. Defensively, I don't know how they're going to move the football on Bama. Auburn did a tremendous job against them. They put together the 97-yard drive, or 90 whatever, 3-yard drive, whatever it was, to tie the game up. But I don't want to have to rely on that. I don't think you'll have the time to throw it against Georgia. Their front is too good. No Jameson Williams first half targeting, I believe, in the second half of that game against Auburn. So he's going to be out for at least the first half. Best offensive weapon for Alabama. So that's going to be a little bit rough. So Bryce Young going to have to do a lot of himself. He's going to have to be mobile in the pocket, get the ball out quick, not take negative yardage plays against a Georgia front that's probably going to bottle up the Bama rushing attack and push a lot of it back on the shoulder of Bryce Young. So we'll see how well he's going to be able to play. The third big game, Michigan, Iowa. Iowa is an 11-point dog in this. I think it's a fairly good matchup, though, for Iowa. If you look at how Michigan wants to play, run the football, they'll throw some play action shots, play pretty physical defense. They're coming off a huge emotional win against Ohio State. Michigan is the better team. I would probably take the points. This looks like a little bit more of a slugfest to me. Maybe I'm wrong, and Michigan's caught lightning in a bottle, and they'll be able to rush it for 300 yards the next handful of games, run to a national championship. Who knows? But I think Iowa does a good job of stopping the run. They can't score a ton of points, but that's not normally something that Michigan does anyway. So whoever plays the cleanest game, limiting turnovers, not putting the ball on the ground, not throwing interceptions, and rushes the football better, I think Michigan will do a better job of that. I think they win, but I think that game will be a little bit tighter than what everybody believes. And then as far as the playoff rankings, to me, it looks pretty good. Georgia, Michigan, Bama, Cincy, Oak State. I can't argue with any of that. Curious to see if Notre Dame could potentially slide in there. Bama gets beat pretty good, and then the Big 12 game just looks ugly, or Baylor wins. Does Notre Dame get in there? Who the heck is even coaching them? They're going without an interim coach. And so, Marcus and Tommy might have to, juggle that thing back and forth. OSU sitting there at 7, potentially could get in with just crazy things happening. I think the ESPN predictors give them 6% or whatever it is to get in, playoff predictor, but I don't see that happening. Really, it's going to be a battle among those top 6 remaining teams. And most likely, if Bama loses, I think Oak State will get in. And I would love to see a matchup, and hopefully this will happen, and we can talk about it next week, a matchup between Cincinnati and Michigan in the college football playoffs, sitting there in a 2-3 matchup. Cincinnati, tough physical team, got some good corners, veteran quarterback, and Luke Fickell going against Jim Harbaugh. So while it's not Ohio State, Michigan in the playoff, it's an Ohio State guy and an Ohio team. And I think that's a game that could be pretty darn close and pretty darn attractive. So I'm hoping the chalk prevails this weekend. And in doing so, we'll get to see some of those classic matchups that we hope to see in the college football playoff. It's going to be on New Year's Eve. And so I know some people don't like it. I'm not a huge fan of that. I usually like the more traditional New Year's Day, and it's hurt ratings in the past, but we'll kind of see how that goes.